You once said profoundly that Bitcoin is a store of value, NFTs are a store of culture.
Yes.
That was really powerful when I reread that this morning. And a lot of people that, wrote off NFTs after OpenSea went up and went back down, and the prices of Bored Ape went back down. When you say something like that, I guess that's a reminder that there's so much more going on here than a JPEG price that went up and down, that a specific metaverse over here that people are using or not using.
Correct.
And that's trying to remind people that it's not a new thing. This is just us, but now represented digitally. And it's only going one way, which is
because
more.
Where are we spending our time? We're spending our time digitally. I think the other thing is that when people talk about sort of, the metaverse is dead and that kind of stuff, actually, it's more what they see as Facebook's meta, right? So Facebook's meta has created this easy narrative to declare it dead because they said the metaverse is dead. However, when you look at it, the facts, when you think of the combination of Web 2 and Web 3 universes, that includes platforms like Minecraft and Roblox and Fortnite and Sandbox and so on as well, then you have something like 600 million people in those type of immersive environments. It's hardly dead, right, for instance, right? But it's how you define it and think of it. And if you're not in the space, and I think this is where Facebook has done an incredible job. They've, in our own little bubble of Web3, we easily dismiss it because we know it's not real. But outside of that bubble, people actually do believe that Facebook's meta is the metaverse. And that's what they've managed to capture. Therefore, Facebook's failure to execute on the metaverse, which we always said would be super difficult for them because of the fact that it was closed, for instance, and wasn't built on Web3 and blockchain, that to me is what other people see. And they see outside and they say, it's easy to say, oh, look, if Facebook failed, then how can it possibly be real? Because they, again, haven't explored it properly.
Well, so let's talk about this with a couple examples. First of all, you did a TED Talk recently, which is the big TED, as I used to say, not just the TEDx. Big stage TED with all the really important people. Talk about that, and then maybe speak on Facebook, because a lot of people do associate the metaverse with an Oculus headset.
Yes.
And also maybe speak about how you always knew that model would fail because it is closed. That's really interesting to me. And again, the first time we spoke 2 years ago, you're an optimistic guy. Okay,
sure.
You're a forward-thinking guy. But the only time I've ever seen you get a little prickly is when you say, "Don't close my metaverse," and we have to make sure this company doesn't close my metaverse.
Yes.
That's one time I've seen you get angry.
No, but yes,
angry, but
exactly.
Concerned. And so you made that point, and I remember that back in 21, you said, we cannot allow our metaverse to be closed.
Yes.
So maybe speak on those things.
Well, first, the TED experience was amazing, an incredible honor, of course. The pressure to speak, I think I said, certainly the speakers I had sort of, anecdotal conversations. The pressure to speak on a stage like TED is enormous, because it's not only that you amongst peers or other people who have incredible influence that you could influence. It's also the fact that its reach reaches out to millions and millions of people who are seekers of truth and knowledge, if you think about it. And so having a perspective that they didn't understand about the metaverse is so important. So the pressure isn't just, how am I sort of displaying myself amongst my peers? The pressure is, can I deliver a message to a wide audience that probably doesn't know anything about what Web3 and the metaverse, the open metaverse, really is, in a manner that lets them at least open their eyes and say, oh, I hadn't thought about it this way. Now, I got a lot of feedback at TED that they thought, they understood now after the talk. But will this work for the wider audience? We shall see, right? Because it hasn't been published yet. But that's where the pressure comes from. And, incredibly world-class speakers and public speakers have come there, and you see them nervous. And that doesn't help, because then you get nervous as well, because they're like, oh my God, if this guy is nervous, then what am I, right? You absolutely have imposter syndrome when you're going up on a stage like TED.
And you have like 18 minutes or something, right?
12 minutes.
12.
Most talks were like 10, 12 minutes.
I love 10.
So but that means you have to condense an incredible amount of time in a short period of time. So you have to rehearse much more strictly. And I was sort of giving this comment to a few people. It's like, I may as well have been reciting Shakespeare, right? Being up there, because you have to have it so together, and you can't really miss a beat, because if you do, then everything, goes to crap almost, right? And so it was definitely a nerve-wracking experience. But the other thing I would say, and I think, it worked reasonably well, I hope. But I also, the experience taught me that after the event, the kind of people who came to me and sort of, we formed a little sort of Web3 NFT club, where it's like, oh, yay, wonderful, finally we have a talk about Web3 in TED. I can count them by, two hands as to how many people said they had NFTs. That was astounding to me, because you think of TED, it's technology, entertainment and design, right? So you would imagine that many more people would have NFTs and would understand the open metaverse, or at least have an inkling of it. And most commentaries I got was, oh, I never understood this. This was really interesting, new perspective. And this is 2023, which just tells me how much we are in our own bubble, right? And how much more work we need to do to reach out to other people, to really explain to them what this opportunity is all about and why it's so important. Data sovereignty, owning our data, owning the derivative of our data is so, so critical. And people don't understand that, especially in this age of AI. Because after all, AI lives off our data. We are feeding the AI. You wouldn't have ChatGPT or self-driving cars if it wasn't for our data. And how much are we getting paid for it? Big fat zero, right? We get entertained for it. We can use it in some derivative ways for value. But where does the value accrue? In the data models, in the companies who own that data. So that's why Web3 is absolutely critical. Really, I think, even for sort of our political and our human future. I think it is very important that we have data as a construct where we have property rights, and therefore becomes essentially owning our data is like a human right.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.